A defeat for Republicans in Colorado who want to help the incoming Trump administration round up people for deportation. Here comes the 2026 race for governor.
Ready or not, this race for governor has already begun, at least behind the scenes.
More students eligible for more help going to college in Colorado. And let's hear it for the Esports state champs.
It was a Game 7 of the World Championship.
That's tonight on Next.
Welcome into our temporary home this week while our studio gets some work done. We begin tonight with a loss in court for conservative sheriffs in Colorado who want to participate in President-elect Donald Trump's mass deportation. A judge in Denver says states cannot be forced to carry out federal law enforcement duties. This case is out of Douglas County, where Republican commissioners before the election sued to challenge state laws blocking local law enforcement from detaining someone based solely on immigration status and sharing that info with the feds. Doug Coe's Republican sheriff spoke at Trump's rally in Aurora, where Trump promised to start the largest deportation in American history here in Colorado. Today, a Denver district court judge ruled the civil detainer requests from ICE are just requests, not orders. It's there in the name. It's also written into the Code of Federal Regulations. The court also ruled it would be overreach for the federal government to command states to comply with immigration requests. Expect lots of litigation on this during the coming Trump administration. Trump does not have the federal forces he would need to round up 20 million people in 4 years. Trump wants to use local law enforcement to do that. And the Republican platform at the national level calls for local law enforcement to be required to assist. Some on Denver City Council are slow-rolling a contract renewal of a homeless shelter that is key to Mayor Mike Johnson's unprecedented plan to end chronic homelessness in the city. The City Council is concerned about the lease on the property not being paid and a lack of services there. The former Comfort Inn on Quebec Street has been used as a shelter since early 2023. The city says it currently houses about 130 people. City leaders say the lease has not been paid since February, and several on City Council have spent weeks opposing an $11 million contract extension to cover the missed payments and keep the place running through 2025. They are on the verge of killing the contract altogether, but tonight they approved a proposal to keep that shelter running just through February. They still want answers about why the city was behind on payments and whether the city's wasting money by leasing rather than buying. And there continue to be concerns about whether the people living there are getting enough support to get out of the shelter and into more permanent housing. Well, smoke them if you got them, because tonight Denver could pass a sweeping ban on flavored tobacco products over opposition from tobacco lobbyists and store owners. The proposal would ban most flavored tobacco and nicotine products, including vapes and menthol cigarettes. City Council says it's worried about young people becoming addicted through those products. Critics of the ban say it would financially devastate the 500-some tobacco retailers in the city and would force people onto a black market for those products. Stores that violate the rules could have their tobacco retail license suspended for up to a year. If this passes tonight, the ban would go into effect in 90 days. Council passed a similar ban in 2021. It was vetoed by then Mayor Michael Hancock before it ever kicked in. So Colorado has not had a real close race for governor since 1998. Most recently, Republican Heidi Ganahl took a near 20-point drubbing. So before long, a whole bunch of Democrats are going to line up to run in 2026 with Governor Jared Polis term limited. Politics guy Marshall Zellinger looks at a very early poll and the Democrats pretending not to want the job.
Ready or not, this race for governor has already begun, at least behind the scenes.
In a week-long survey earlier this month, Healthier Colorado asked 630 Democratic and unaffiliated voters about their preference for governor between four specific Democrats: Congressman Joe Neguse, Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, U.S. Ambassador to Mexico Ken Salazar, and Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser. Why did Healthier Colorado do a poll specifically about these four?
We based the candidates that we tested in this poll on rumors around town, which sound flimsy, but I can assure you are based on credible leads. We'd very much like to do the same for Republicans as well, but the rumors on that side are a little more fuzzy.
We asked all four three simple questions. Are you running for governor? Do you have interest in running for governor? Or do you have no interest and will say today you're out? Griswold and Weiser gave us non-answers, saying they're focused on their current jobs. Neguse, who this summer told me he was focused on his family and the November election, did not respond by our deadline. Neither did Salazar. Who else could be running on the Democratic side? Jake Williams said he wished he would have included Congressman Jason Crow in his poll. Today, a Crow spokesperson said he's received encouragement to run. Right now, he's focused on serving in Congress. And another person that appears to be interested in running for office again is former State House Speaker Crisanta Duran, who simply told me she is still considering her 2026 options.
Did Neguse, Griswold, Ken Salazar, or Weiser pay money for this poll to happen?
No, no candidate paid for this poll to happen. We paid for this poll to happen, and we're very happy to share it with the public.
This story is more about the candidates who could be running than the poll itself, but you're probably curious. Joe Neguse came in first with 20%, Griswold 16%, Salazar 11%, Weiser had 8%, 37%, more than a third, were undecided, Kyle.
I mean, and it doesn't matter how much of a potential lost cause it is for Republicans. They're going to put somebody up, and it's a great way, if nothing else, to get your ideas out there and to influence the conversation. Who might run on that side?
So I reached out to Congressman Greg Lopez, who has run for governor the last 2 times. He said he's keeping his options open. State Senator Barb Kirkmeyer said she's heard from people, will consider it and give us an answer next year. I also heard the name of the Teller County Sheriff, Jason Mikesell.
Oh, interesting.
Reached out to him this afternoon, didn't hear back from him. I'm sure there will be some other names.
He's been very vocal on immigration stuff, which we just talked about here a moment ago. All right, Marshall Zellinger, thank you very much. The Colorado Republican Party continues its internal purge against dissenters these days. They've set up a new anti-corruption committee and are promising retaliation against the Republican leaders who led a failed attempt inside the party to replace the chairman. GOP Chair Dave Williams survived the uprising in his party, recently won a lawsuit to keep his seat. They went after him after his anti-gay bigotry included a call to burn all pride flags, and there was also the issue of the use of party funds in his failed Republican primary run for Congress. Today, the Colorado GOP announced its new anti-corruption committee will investigate 3 party leaders who publicly opposed Williams. The party's pick to lead its internal inquisition is a guy named Matt Arnold, longtime activist and attorney. Our partners at Colorado Politics report that Arnold was investigated himself this year after attorney regulators said he failed to disclose that he had been involved in a child neglect case and was once accused by his acts of domestic violence. Colorado Politics says Arnold was not charged with a crime. More students in Colorado are getting help with the cost of college. Students who went to school without Pell Grants are now learning they're eligible for some assistance. Our Angeline McCall explains.
With increased eligibility comes increased aid for students at colleges and universities here in Colorado.
I got help immediately with filling out my FAFSA application.
Ismael Taide is studying mechanical engineering at MSU Denver.
My mom definitely wants me to go to college and pursue my education, get a decent job for the future. And without FAFSA, it would be significantly harder.
Because he filled out the application, he also learned he's a Pell Grant recipient. This year, eligibility opened up the door to more students.
Again, that has a lot to do with the FAFSA simplification and being more accessible to all families, more families qualifying for Pell Grant based off of income and family size, but also it's based off of your family size and a percentage of the poverty guidelines per state.
Jennifer Helgeson with MSU Denver says 38% of students at the school are Pell Grant eligible, the highest it's been since 2017.
About 600,000 students nationwide who never had any Pell Grant eligibility are actually eligible for Pell Grant this year.
It means students who already received the Pell Grant may be getting more aid, and it's opened up eligibility to others.
It makes school much more affordable, takes off some of that financial pressure so students can really concentrate on their studies and moving towards graduation.
And without having to worry about the funds, it's a step closer to accomplishing their studies.
Thanks to FAFSA, I'm able to pursue not just mechanical engineering if I wanted, but anything on top of that or anything else.
The legislature has also worked on making higher education more affordable. Starting next year, there will be tax credits provided to offset tuition and fees not already covered by grants or scholarships for 2 years for Colorado students whose families have a gross income below $90,000 a year. Kyle?
Certainly hope that word gets out because you don't want people leaving money on the table, right?
Certainly, and we asked, do you think that it's because need has gone up, that we've seen more students receiving the Pell Grant? Is it because we're seeing more students, for instance, filling out the FAFSA? And the answer is probably somewhere in the middle and a combination of those things.
All right, Angeline McCall, thank you for that. You beautiful people, you came through again with Christmas for kids living in Denver's public housing. You raised $30,000 in one-time weekly donations for your latest Word of Thanks micro-giving campaign, and that is on top of the about $25,000 that will come in monthly gifts through the Word of Thanks Fund. This is the only micro-giving campaign that we have repeated all 5 years that you have been at this giving. It means a lot to those families in Denver's public housing. If you know of a nonprofit anywhere in Colorado that could use our help, email me at next@9news.com, or you can always text NEXT 303-871-1491. Live by the speed trap camera, die by the speed trap camera. Appears Morrison's attempt to squeeze more money out of drivers backfired.
It's just like, storybook, like throw the headset down.
An esports championship might not get the same attention as, say, a football championship, but you know what? A title's a title. That's next. Morrison's speed trap camera was not the gold mine that small town had hoped it would be. Mayor said today that the camera's poor performance contributed to them closing down the police department. I believe that's what they call being hoisted by one's own petard. The notorious speed trap of a town set up an actual speed trap back in May, and in the first 2 weeks it issued more than 10,000 tickets. But then Morrison's petard got vandalized earlier this year and it's no longer operating. The town says the camera, all told, did not bring in the revenue expected.
Everybody thinks we were just raking it in, but come to find out, after we took care of all the receivables or not receivables and handling all the time with the staff, taking care of all this and the billing, it turned out to be we didn't make that much money.
The town announced that its decision to disband the police department last week was due to a budgetary issue. Jefferson County Sheriff's Office will now take over patrols there, and they may hire some of Morrison's officers. A social media influencer has spent years fighting criminal charges for riding a snowmobile through a closed ski area in 2020. Now he is hoping the U.S. Supreme Court will take up the case to overturn his sentence. If I didn't know better, I would think the man just likes attention. Last week, a judge sentenced David Lesh to 120 hours of community service, a $5,000 fine, and 6 months of unsupervised probation. His offense? Riding a snowmobile through a closed area of Keystone in 2020. Quite the outfit he's got on. The court denied Lesh's request for a jury trial, said you don't get to have a jury trial for a petty offense. Lesh says that violates his constitutional right to a trial by jury of his peers, and he wants his sentence stayed while he appeals his snowmobiling tickets to the United States Supreme Court.
We have a beautiful evening in downtown Denver. It was a little cool, a little windy today, but the evening drive underway with really no issues weather-wise. We're tracking the next storm system and round of mountain snow. That will start later tonight, and the wind that many of you got a break from today will return to the foothill areas tomorrow. It was cold this morning. We started at 18 degrees, warmed to 50, actually 48, at just below 50 degrees. That is above average for this time of year. We've cooled back to 38 this hour, 7 in Gunnison for comparison, and 29 in Steamboat. The wind is still really gusty over Nederland, Dumont, Loveland Pass, Kenosha Pass. This is all part of a weather system that will bring a round of mountain snow tonight. Denver may be an isolated snow shower tomorrow, but pretty quiet for the next few days. Even though we have all of this moisture coming in ahead of the Pacific storm system, most of that will come in the form of snow for the mountains and not for lower elevations. Denver's dry tonight. We have scattered snow showers from Steamboat to Glenwood Springs to Vail Pass, and then this time tomorrow night, we'll keep an eye out for a snow shower possible south and east of Denver. And it moves through really quickly, skies clear, and that's probably the most interesting weather phenomenon for Denver, I think, over the next few days. So we are in the 40s now, dropping into the 30s overnight. The extended forecast shows above average highs for the next few days. I mean 10 to 20 degrees warmer than average right into the weekend, where we could see temperatures close to 60 degrees. And right now, the Christmas holiday looks terrific. We have sunshine and 50s for Christmas Day.
A team of East High students left it all on the virtual field, and they brought home some very real hardware. That's next. Bringing home a state title in any sport is a reason for a high school to celebrate. In this case, also chip away at a stigma. The East High Angels are the champs of Chasa's Esports Rocket League state finals.
It was a Game 7 of the World Championship.
Today we're having a media day for the Rocket League team. We won the state championship. Austin Green, East High School, Rocket League state champion.
Do you have the patience?
The Rocket League is, imagine soccer with cars. It's in a big kind of closed arena, and the cars can fly. They have rocket boosters. You never think you're gonna go in person and play video games in front of a crowd. That's such a cool experience within itself, and then winning, of course, is another level.
Like seriously, we had some great competition out of all of these three. Get a touch over the top.
And I dribble the ball out of the corner towards their half, and I say, nah, let's end it here. And I took the ball, it bounces off the wall, I hit it, right at the goal, it goes bar down. So we beat Valor 4-1 in the finals on a buzzer beater, 0-second game-winning goal. Score it, and it's just like, storybook. Like throw the headset down, turn around and start like hugging my teammates.
It's incredibly easy to make fun of a high school kid for playing video games for their school.
Playing video games for your high school, it can be quite vulnerable, right? You're putting yourself out there, and it's not exactly the most socially acceptable thing. And so what I'm gonna take away from that is I'm just gonna do what I wanna do. I'm gonna do my passion, I'm gonna do what I love, and I'm gonna win a championship for it.
1, 2, 3, peace.
I'm going to do what I wanna do, and I'm gonna do what my passion is. I'm gonna love it.
Good for them. Whatever you do it with passion. That win was the first Rocket League championship title for Denver East for DPS. This year's state championship marked the third season that Rocket League has been Chasa official. We are back with your feedback from somewhere in this new room next. The most Colorado thing we saw today is a stare down involving a real ass, and my money is on Blaster, of course the mascot for the Colorado School of Mines, even up against that much larger Clydesdale. Blaster's not intimidated, not at all. They ran into each other this weekend at Golden's holiday parade. If you see something that looks quintessentially Colorado to you, email it to us. Next@9news.com is the email, or you can always text Next at 303-871-1491. Feedback from Tim about our piece saluting the East High Esports state champs. Tim says, thanks for giving some much-deserved attention to the gamers. Probably won't see that on the prep rally, but nice that you covered. Hey, listen. They put in the work, whether you're excelling in school at athletics or academics or music or whatever else, it's a cause to be celebrated. And I like when folks are kind of charting a new course like they are with esports. A note here from Kirk and Tim and Diane and Jim and Rick and Kathleen. Were you at the Broncos game yesterday? In the third quarter, they showed a long close-up of a person who looked like you. It's good of you to be cautious because, let's face it, I'm a pretty basic-looking person. There's a lot of folks who look like me. But yeah, it was me. What a game. Go Broncos. See you next time.